Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host, Sri Iyer. I beg your pardon. Today I have a very special guest. He is joining our channel for the first time. Let us welcome Dr. Kamalakara Sharma Garu. Sharma Garu, welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskaram, sir. Namaskaram.
So, Namaskaram, Dr. Sharma Garu. Dr. Sharma is a medical doctor and he has also done a lot of research on Bhagavad Gita. And today we are going to talk about why Bhagavad Gita is a repository of pure science. And to tell a little bit about Dr. Sharma, Dr. Pantangi Kamalakara Sharma, the chairman of Dhanvantari Institution of Science and Technology Society, is a medical doctor and the son of late Sri Pantangi Venkateswara Shastri, who was a Vyakarana Pandit, had a divine dream in which Puja Sri Raghavendra Swami directed him to start education and health institutions that are accessible and affordable to the common man in the country. With this divine order from Puja Sri Raghavendra Swami, Dr. Sharma started Sri Raghavendra Hospitals in 2005 at Mailardevpalli, Kattedan, Rajendra Nagar, Hyderabad, and served the common man without commercialization. Dr. Sharma, along with Mr. Vennelaganti Subbarao, have been running Dhanvantri Foundation International at Tilak Nagar Crossroads, Shivam Road, since 2004. This organization has been extended more than 22 activities to the community, including manufacturing of Ayurveda products, encouraging youngsters towards employment, extending financial assistance to the unemployed youth. I can go on and on. He has a very impressive set of resume, and he has come from very humble beginnings to be where he is today. And Dr. Sharma, could you please help our could you please help our viewers understand why Bhagavad Gita is the repository of pure science, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, we are going to have a small slideshow. I'm sorry, we'll be having a small slideshow, but before that, please continue, sir.
Yeah. So, namaskaram to everybody. Thank you for allowing me to participate in this August audience. Basically, there is a saying, Ahara Nidra Bhayamaithunancha Samanyamete Pashubhir Naranam. Jnano hi tesham adhiko vishesho jnanena hina pashubhis samana. See, in creation, there are so many diversified living organisms are there. For all of them, the common cycle is that aharam, to sustain life, to have the feeding, then growth, then reproduction to maintain further progeny, and then departure. This is called a life cycle. This life cycle is common for human being as well as other animals and creatures and all insects and everybody. But what is the difference between human and then other creatures is jnanam. Jnano hi tesham adhiko vishesho. So human being is bestowed with the jnanam. And jnanina hina pashubhis samanaha. When he doesn't have the jnanam, he is as equal as any insect or animal. Then the question arises, what is jnanam? So now, because of the jnanam is commented in so many ways by so many people, what is true jnanam? This comes the reality. The true jnanam is the ultimate truth, which is immutable, which is not changeable, which is present everywhere, and not subject to any form of deformities. As the modern science, if you take all thousands of any hundreds of Nobel laureates or any scientist you take, one common thing they say that whatever the theories they have brought in till now, what all are practically implementable, they are also not absolute truths. 100% they agree on this, that they are not permanent and then they are subject to either modification or obsolete. New things will come. So there are absolutely in cosmos two aspects are there, which modern science is lacking to understand. What is the identified and then the one who is identifier. So these two things are the cosmic material. In this cosmic material identifier and identified, modern science is developed totally on identified objects only. So in this, what extent modern science has gone in, and beyond that, what is left over, where they are in confusion, that we have to analyze. So in this regard, the crystal clear clarity, the so-called universal consciousness, God's consciousness, only one thing has come, that is Sarvopanishado Gavo, Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha, Partho Vatsaha, Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdham Gitamrutam Mahat. So in this, the essence of all truth knowledge, that is Vedas and Puranas, Itihasas, all those things, they are concentrated together. Essence of them is taken away by Lord Krishna. Sarvopanishado Gavo, Dogdha Gopalananda. He has worked out, he has churned out everything and then made it a very essence in a small assimilable form of Bhagavad Gita. And for that, the Arjuna was calf taking the milk, and Sudhir Bhokta, the one who is having good knowledge, good discriminative knowledge, is the Bhokta enjoyer. And what is the result? Dugdham Gita Amrutam Mahat. What is that milk? Is Gita Amrutam. Amrutam means impenetrable.
Yeah.
And this is Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimanyaihi Shastra Vistaraihi Yaswayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmat Vinisruta. So Gita has to be done Sugita. That means extensively it has to be studied, not just as mere shlokas or something. When you study it in depth as a Sugita Kartavya, then what is the necessity of any other Shastras? He says, Sugita Kartavya Kim Anyaihi Shastra Vistaraihi. Any extent, any other knowledge also is not necessary. Why? Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmat Vinisruta. That means that knowledge has straight away has come forward the very lotus mouth of God Himself. Then why Bhagavad Gita, if it is having that much knowledge, why it has not come, why it is not there? So modern science, so many gadgets, so many technologies, so many things have done. Is it all described in Bhagavad Gita? All these questions will arise. Now, for this sake, we have to understand what exactly the modern science is and where it has got stuck up and what are the answers for them. This we have to take out in a sequential manner. For this, quickly I'll go through the modern science. There are two levels, one is macro level and one is micro level. At macro level, initially they thought that Earth itself is the biggest planet on the the biggest thing in the cosmos. But they found that is a part of solar system, and that solar system is a part of our Milky Way galaxy. The galaxy which you see, the science developed so much with the Hubble telescope and other things. They have shown that the galaxy is a conglomeration of the sun-like, our sun-like stars, in which about 10,000 crores of sun-like our sun are accommodated into our Milky Way galaxy. And then this, the diameter, you can see the point here that our sun is, it's a spiral light, wherein central lot of concentration of are there. In other arms, all our stars are distributed. And the space, as you know, is measured in terms of light years, and one light year is about 946 trillion kilometers. And they say that our the diameter of our Milky Way galaxy is next. Our Milky Way galaxy is about 1 lakh light years, and till now, such galaxies identified are about 2 trillion. 1 trillion is about 100 crores, 1 lakh crores. So the known universe, entire which is spread, to what extent it has gone, is about 92 billion light years of the span the present day science knows. With the available technology, this is what the endpoint which we have got today. And what the experience is telling today is whatever the biggest known today is becoming another part of another very big entity tomorrow, like our Earth, the solar system, galaxy, and then the universe. So now, at any point of time, not only now, at any point of time down the line, crores of thousands of crores of years also, there will not be any answer to the edge of the cosmos. You can never arrive through either you are by individually as a human natural being, or by any telescopes or any satellite sending pictures. You can never arrive the edge of cosmos. So that is end point, that this universe that may become multiverses. Nowadays people are talking about multiverses. That multiverses, it may become part of another multiverse. Like that, it goes on, goes on, goes on. So at macro level there is an endpoint. Then we'll come to micro level. When we come to micro level, scientists, what they thought is that endpoint of all the cosmic material whatever are there, when they come down, when they narrow down to 120 elements as of today, that basic element is the one which retains the character of the gross element till its endpoint. So that endpoint for every element is called atom. And it is such a blunder name to be called as atom even till today. Why? Because the literal meaning of atom is indivisibility. Tome is cross section. Atom means inability to cut. So initially they thought they are the endpoints, but long before, more than century ago itself, that was identified that atoms in turn they contain further constituents. So they are not endpoints. It's not indivisible. It is divisible into so many parts. So the modern science, it should come out of the so-called superstition of still carrying the name atom. That it should not be called as atom, it should be called as LSPP. That is least sustainable perceivable part. For any basic element, that should not be called as atom, but it should be called as LSPP, least sustainable perceivable part. That's what it should be there. Then when 120 basic elements are there, why the difference of all these 120 basic elements? Then it is known that each basic atom, the so-called atom, it contains the nucleus and surrounding electrons. The number of protons which are there in nucleus, they are called the atomic number. Like hydrogen, the smallest one proton, then helium, then lithium, sodium, potassium, like that. It goes on to 120. So because the charge is equal in basic level, it is a neutral atom. So number of protons equals the number of electrons negatively charged revolving around in the nucleus. This is what the modern science picture is at some time back. Protons and then equal number of neutrons. Neutrons may be a difference which is called isotopes, and these electrons will be revolving around because of lesser mass compared to proton, about 1837 times. And then charge, the basic issue is the charge, because of which it is revolving around, and because of the charge, the attraction between proton and then electron. And this is what they say. And then still this was at some time. Now again, because of with large hadron collider which is designed in Geneva, it's you can see the perimeter of the large hadron collider. It's about 27 kilometers, and it is dug about 100 meters depth, and then the tunnel itself is about 30 meters diameter. You can see the central part of the beam, the central part of the beam, it is surrounded by in layers by layers, layers by layers, all the electromotive force that is given. To what extent? 10 to the power of 11 giga voltage. Our ordinary household voltage electricity is 220 volts, and 1000 volts will make 1 kilovolt. 1000 kilovolts will make 1 megavolt, and 1000 megavolts will make 1 gigavolt. Such 10 to the power of 11 giga voltage energy is given to the beam starting from one end of that 27 kilometers, and step by step it is given augmenting the energy to it, EMF force, and with that force in every second, it that beam makes around 11,000 circles of that 27 kilometers, and with that speed it hits at the nucleus on the opposite side. With that collision, they found that all the parts which are disintegrated, something around 200 more than subatomic entities are identified till date. So out of this thing, the more stable are only proton, neutrons, and electrons. So that was earlier, the periodic table was the earlier classification, but latest clarification that what are the basic elements which out of which the entire cosmos is made up of. Now they are coming out with that basically two things. One is quark, which is made of the constituents of protons and neutrons, and then the leptons which are moving around. So these quarks are six types they are made. One is top and bottom, one up and down, and one charm and strange, and depending on their mass and then their charge and all. And then the leptons, there one is electron and electron and neutrino, then muon and muon neutrino, then tau particle and its neutrino. So these are basic elemental particles. And for these basic elemental, when we come to quantum mechanics at subatomic level, these are the basic matter particles. And what are the interactions between those two? These matter particles is four types, they say. One is gravity at the level of galactical level, intergalactical level, it's celestial level, planets and Earth and Earth. At that gross level, gravity is the interacting force between great masses. Then at subtler level, between the electromagnetic interaction between neutron and then proton, the nucleus and then the periphery, and then the weak nuclear interaction which is responsible and mediated by one W and Z bosons, which are cause of radioactive decay, as well as sun decaying into and then delivering its light and all. And then the third one is the gluons, which mediate the forces between within nucleus, between quarks and then protons and neutrons. So these are all the interacting entities and then matter entities. This is what the modern science has come down. And in the Large Hadron Collider, the ultimate thing they have found out is the Higgs boson. Now, what they say is these are all, entire cosmos is nothing but these quantified, that is lump sum, like lump. These are quanta, as well as, and then the rest of the thing is the field. Rest of the thing is field. So quanta and field. This is what the ultimate thing of modern science has come. So through this, yeah.
I have a quick question, Andy. I have a quick question. Now, one of the definitions given for Higgs boson is God particle.
Yeah.
So perhaps you can shed a little bit of light on why it is termed that, because people are trying to find out what is it that makes matter, which is nothing but carbon and various different compounds, suddenly have a life of its own, and things like that. So kindly, dwell on that when you get a chance. Thank you.
Yeah. So now what they are telling is, earlier the pictures which they were shown, they were old pictures, and now they have clearly drawn out that there is nothing like nucleus will be like this, and then electron like a lump, it will be moving around. So that's not so. Exactly what is happening is all the scientists together, they are not knowing anything. This is the latest thing. They don't know what exactly electron is. They say probable wave or probable density, electron density. That means here the most probability of its location may be there. That's all. It's all like a field. They don't know exactly what it is. and J.J. Thomson has discovered electron way back in 1897 or so. Even in till date, even after 120 years also, there is no methodology to isolate or to catch hold of one electron and show this as electron. And scientist Heisenberg, he has very clearly, with his wave equation and collapse of the waves, he has very clearly told simultaneously at subatomic level, you cannot decide on its position and its momentum. Simultaneously, you cannot do it, which you can do at the gross level, like planets and then other things, because of its spin and because of its velocity. At this point of time, it is here, and at that next time, within this stipulated time, it will be there. That is called Newtonian calculations. Newtonian calculations can give you the picture at the gross level, but that's not applicable at quantization, at quantum mechanics level. It is not possible. They have clearly drawn the conclusion. They talk about spin, they talk about the charge, they talk about the field. And here they got blocked, and then there is no methodology even till date to isolate even an electron or any subatomic entities and study its morphology. And in the Large Hadron Collider, why they have called God's particle, they were breaking their heads, and then they have drawn conclusion. These are all not individual separate entities. It is all, there is substratum. When that substratum quantifies, it gives rise to matter, and then that matter again either it stays as a quanta or goes as a field. So now they are finding that quantum entanglement. For every particle, they say there is antiparticle. Like electron, if it is there, positron is there. If such pair of entities, if you separate them and keep them even at the edge of the cosmos also, now what they have found out is any change that is happening in one part of its pair, immediately it's reflecting into another part of its pair, no matter at what distance it is there. As per Einsteinian general theory of relativity, there is no possibility of going beyond light speed. There is nothing in cosmos which can travel beyond than light speed. That's what the conclusion. Then, when it is separated apart at much higher distances than light years, also, how is that change are occurring and when quantum entanglement? Then there must be some connection between these two which is acting instantaneously. What is it that they are talking about? Dark matter, they are talking about so many other things, and then they are left with no choice, that they are totally in a confusion state. This is what the latest science at micro level or macro level. So we should not, particularly all scientists should not confuse. They should not keep in dark that general public, that whatever they find out with science, whatever they prove with science is only the ultimate. That is the only reality. That which cannot be proved by science is nothing. It is all superstition. This kind of their ignorance, their idiocy, they should not rub onto general public, because that is reality. And in reality, what is science starts with the proof, because at gross level, if electricity is there, electricity is there. If you put it on a switch with preconditions that wiring should be there, electricity should be flowing. If you have a fan with that, anybody operating, it should give the same result. That is the proof. So science begins with the proof, and ultimately, miserably, where it is ending? It is ending into the faith, because the edge of cosmos is also faith, and then at the subatomic level, electron is a faith. It's not a reality. It is not reality. It is only a faith. So science is beginning with proof and ending in faith. Now in this kind of situation, what is the solution? Now we'll come to Bhagavad Gita. So once we know the modern science limitations, then you will understand Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, it has given such a clarity that fundamentals of science are there, that end point is there. As far as modern science is concerned, you are finding out so many inventions. With those so many inventions, in due course of time, so many other products will come, because root cause will be only one. Whereas the derivatives, number of derivatives, they'll become multiplied, 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 and then it becomes infinite. Like in DNA, human DNA, cell DNA, you have only four basic nucleotides, and those four in different combinations, about more than 25,000 genes are there in our own human genome, and there is infinite number. So with only four variables, if you can have so many, then so many derivatives, they will give picture to infinite, in infinite time of course of time. Then where we have to go? That the so-called today in the human body, I myself am anesthesiologist, so more than 300 different super specialists are there. Now one thing is pretty sure, that in spite of all this, suppose you take some person in totally absolutely normal condition, and he is safeguarded in every respect, all the 360 specialists, with all the super specialty gadgets, with all super specialty services, all devices, still when time comes, the so-called the life, it exits. Nobody can prevent it. This is fact, is it not? For everybody, it is a fact. Then what is it that exactly? Now the modern science is in confusion. So that identifier who is there, that talks of the Bhagavad Gita, and in this I am going to give you the clarity, because each and every shloka Bhagavad Gita, it carries such a deep meaning. So it days together it requires. As far as today is concerned, one small one or two shlokas deep narration I'll give, so that you will understand what modern science is, and what Bhagavad Gita and our ancient texts are there, why we should study, why it is endpoint. Now let us come to, yeah, tell me, sir.
So, as a child, I used to recite Saptamodhyaya,
Yeah,
and they used to say this is a Jnana Vijnana Yoga. You want to become a doctor or an engineer, you should recite this. So,
yeah,
like this, many children growing up, they learn bits and pieces of Bhagavad Gita. But what
yeah,
you have stated, the problem,
yeah,
identified and identifier, is a very profound concept. So, I'm really
yeah,
eager to find out how you're
yeah,
going to explain this from
yeah,
Bhagavad Gita. Sir, I,
yeah.
I think we are about 28 minutes into the talk. I think
Okay,
you should take about 30 minutes, 30, if possible.
fine,
I'm just giving
fine,
you an outer limit. If it ends before that, that is fine. And
fine,
then based on that, we will take the questions. I hope you
fine,
have the time for that. And I'm
fine,
sorry for interruption. Please continue.
fine, fine, sir. Now, let us take step by step. What happens in Bhagavad Gita? He says in only three, four slokas only he gives clarity, and for that we'll limit ourselves for today for that only, because a lot of things are there in Bhagavad Gita. In series of things we can plan for every sloka. And in this Jnana Vijnana Yoga, he says, Jnanam teham sa vijnanamidam vakshyam yaseshatah yat jnatva neha bhuyonyat jnatavyam avasishyate. It means Arjuna is taught by Krishna, telling that Jnanam and Vijnanam. Jnana is the Shastric knowledge, and Vijnana is the Shastric knowledge which is learnt, which is experienced, is called Vijnana. Suppose you say electricity, just simply studying is something, water is something. When you experience it, it is Vijnana. So Jnana and Vijnana together, Jnanam teham sa Vijnanamidam vakshyami aseshataha. That means without leaving anything, I'll tell you. And then yet jnatva, after knowing which, neha na means na iha, bhuyaha means again, jnatavyam means to be known, is not left over. So when I explain all this jnana and vijnana in toto, after knowing which nothing will be left to be known again. This is what he says. But in modern science, everything is left over. Whatever you, the more you are knowing, the more you are realizing that whatever known is very little bit, and then left to be known is in very abundance. So for this, why the clarity? What is the clarity? He says, he divides, basically, I'll give introduction. He divides cosmos into two entities. One is para prakriti, one is apara prakriti. In this apara prakriti is the form which undergoes change, which is created, which is born. So in this 8 entities he gives clarity, and then the another is the para prakriti. Para prakriti, it is immutable. It is not a born one. It is not subject to change. So entire cosmos, only two things are there. These two he gives very clear picture. What he says is భూమిరాపోనలో వాయు ఖం మనో బుద్ధిరేవచ అహంకార ఇతియమే భిన్నా ప్రకృతిరష్టధ. దిస్ ఇస్ ఫస్ట్ శ్లోక. భూమిరాపోనలో వాయు ఖం మనో బుద్ధిరేవచ అహంకార ఇతియమే భిన్నా ప్రకృతి అష్టధ. దెన్ నెక్స్ట్ శ్లోక సేస్ అపరేయం ఇతస్త్వన్యాం ప్రకృతిం విద్ధి మే పరాం జీవభూతాం మహాబాహో యయేదం ధార్యతే జగత్. Now we have to go in depth of these two shlokas meanings. Now he says the apara prakriti is divided into 8 entities. So what are those 8 entities? He says bhumi, apa, anala, vayu, kham, mano, buddhi, ahankara. So 8 entities it is divided. Unfortunately, what we think as a common this thing, and then all the panditas also, they say simply pancha mahabhutas. Bhumi, apa, anala, vayu, kham means they say earth, water, fire, air, and then the space, they say akasha, they say. But in fact, when you go in depth, when you understand, he divides entire cosmic entities on its physical phase of the entity. It's not just, if you say bhumi means not just stone and earth planet. The thing is the same thing in different phases. What is that phase? Bhumi means it is solid phase. That's what the real meaning of it is concerned. Bhumi means solid phase. In solid phase, what happens? The intermolecular, intramolecular, intraatomic, interatomic, there are binding forces which make it take to give a shape and occupy certain space with its weight and other characteristics. So that is the solid phase of the entity. That is bhumi. Then, as from this is at a gross level. From gross level, when you proceed to subtler levels, the intermolecular, intraatomic, when those binding forces are getting loosened up, when they are getting dispersed away, one state goes from gross level to the subtler level. This is what exactly the description given by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So bhumi is a solid phase. Then apaha means water. Water means not literal water. It is the liquid phase. It becomes subtler from solid phase to liquid phase. And then comes the Agni phase, is the transition phase, after which it becomes unperceivable. Then after the Agni, it becomes the Vayu phase. Vayu phase means it's not just air. It is the end point of matter phase. That is quantization. What the subtlemost quantity, the modern science, it goes more than, as I just now told, more than 200 subatomic entities are identified. That is quantization of matter at the subtlemost level. That is the Vayu stage. Beyond the Vayu stage is the Kham. Kham means Akasham. What general people think is that it's a simple space. It's not so. It is after the matter phase gets dissolved, it goes into energy state. And the real energy which is there in Kham, Akasha, and what modern science is talking about energy is different. Because in modern science, they say energy never dies. And the pathetic thing is they don't know what exactly in precision energy is. They talk about chemical energy, they talk about hydro energy, they talk about mechanical energy, wind energy, hydro energy, so on and so forth. And Einstein says very clearly E is equal to mc square. That means energy is changeable into matter, and then matter is changeable into energy again. One thing you have to understand, you should have a clarity: when something changes, that means it is not retaining its originality, is it not? When it is not retaining its originality, when it is changing, it has decayed. Suppose example, you take the fuel, petrol or diesel, that is chemical energy is there. When you are pouring into some device, either motor vehicle or DG set or whatever it is when it is burnt out, it is getting converted into thermal energy. The thermal energy again, it is pushing the piston, it is converting into mechanical energy. That mechanical energy is moving something, and that moving is transmitted to some wheel or something, and then some vehicle or something is moving out. And as per thermodynamics, the second law, entropy, the order of desirableness, it cannot come back. Now you tell which is the energy, which is permanent. You cannot tell. So what exactly energy is, even the latest modern science also, it doesn't know. It knows only the form of energy, but not what exactly energy is. So the exact energy, the its subtlemost level is called the akasha. And at this point of time itself, modern science has got stuck up, and it doesn't have any answer. What exactly it is, they don't have. It is only an inference because of the effects of those subtler things. We are applied aspect we are utilizing, and then we are going in. So beyond this energy state, then comes the consciousness stage, that is called manas. That and what exactly, why is it really there or not, I'll come later on for explanations for that. So after the energy state, still subtler state is the manas state. And as you know very well, when there is no charge, when there is subtlety, it's a tremendous speed occurs. Suppose you take neutrinos, trillions of neutrinos, they can penetrate. They say the latest science says about at least 1 light year thickness of iron block also can be penetrated by a neutrino, because it doesn't have the charge, and because of subtlety, because of nanotechnology. When you go to subtlemost things, there won't be much interaction. So likewise, when it goes to subtler stage as manas, beyond the energy state, the speed is tremendous. That is answered in Yaksha Prashnas in Bhagavad also. That Yama asks Dharmaraja, what is the highest speed? He says it is manas. So manas means they're not just imaginable or ununderstandable mythological entities. They are realities. Yeah,
Is this are you referring to Mahaprasthanam, where Dharmaraja is going towards
yeah,
heaven,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Yama comes and then starts
yeah,
asking questions?
yes,
Please
yes,
continue.
yes,
I
yeah,
apologize. I was on mute.
yeah, in the same thing. So he gives the answer. The highest speed is the manas. Right now, you have that materialistically, they say light speed itself is the maximum speed. That's roughly about 3 lakh kilometers per second. And beyond that, they could not prove anything. But with the quantum entanglement, they are realizing something is happening in how distance is no matter. Wherever something change is occurring, how far it is there, it is getting changed. So there is a connection, there is something activity going on, and then there is something speed which is beyond light speed, is it not? So likewise, what they say is this manas is subtler than energy, and subtler than manas is the buddhi. And these words western science they don't have, we have. And those things are realities, they are not just mere faiths or something. That details we can go on later on, but as a glimpse I'm giving you. And after the manas and buddhi, still subtler is the ahankara. What is ahankara? In general, people think that it is pride, it is the ego. Not so. What exactly ahankara means? For anything which is born in cosmos, maybe living or non-living, that which is born, it gains its existence felt different from rest of cosmos. Birth means that only. It may be animate or inanimate. Anything which is born out, it becomes different from rest of cosmos. And that difference from rest of cosmos gives its existence as a separate entity. That separateness from rest of cosmos, it gives the entity its bhava, its feeling, called the ahamkara. That means till anything which is born, from that stage the ahankara starts. Okay, that means for ahankara also there is something still subtler root out of which this has born out. That taking birth means either any two or more still subtler causes are joining together and forming something new. It may be animate or inanimate. When two or more subtler entities are there, when they are joining together and forming something new, for that newly formed entity, there is no existence before its constituent entities have joined together. That is called prak abhava, prior absence. Before its constituents join together, there is no existence for the newly formed entity. Okay. And how long this is going to live? This lives till its constituents are bound together. That is its lifetime. And when the constituents are dissolved, when they disrupt apart, the existence of this newly formed entity will be dissolved. That is, it goes into again non-existence. So prior to its formation is non-existence, and after its dissolution is also non-existence. This is pradvamsa bhava, that is prak abhava, that is pradvamsa bhava, and life sustenance. This cycle is there up to ahankara level. That means the subtler level than energy, manas, buddhi, and ahankara. So these 8 entities, bhumi, apa, anala, vayu, mano, buddhi, ahankara, 8 entities, they are subject to form, deformity, formation, sustenance, and deformation. These 8, because they undergo change, and one more thing is there, that they are limited, they are controlled by space and time. Anything which is born out has got two masters, two controlling factors, that is space and time. Space, it divides any formed entity into two parts, that is place of its existence, place of non-existence. Anything which is born, it may be a small level. At now they are talking about 10 to the power of minus 30 meters at subtler level. And at gross level, as I told you, the known universe's diameter is 92 billion light years. So that big may be, this small may be, whatever it is. But it is bound by its boundary. That boundary, that space divides any formed entity into place of existence, place of non-existence. Likewise, it is under control of time. Time factor also, as I told, Prakabhava and Pradvamsabhava. So any formed entity, it is fragmented into its time of existence, its time of non-existence. So absolute masters for entire cosmic entities is the space and time. Okay, these are masters up to apara prakriti also. Then what is para prakriti? Then comes up to this one, bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyame bhinna prakriti rashtadha. Then next comes apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho ya edam dharyate jagat. He gives very clarity that beyond this apara prakriti, there is still subtler another entity called para prakriti, that is my prakriti. Lord Krishna says very clearly. Apareyam itaha anyam prakritim. Till now, what is narrated is the apara prakriti. Beyond this prakriti, my prakriti is there, that is para prakriti. What is that? It is jiva bhutam. In life, that is the cause of life. In non-living existences also, for entire cosmos, that is the root cause which bears, which sustains entire this cosmos. Jiva bhutam mahabaho ya edam dharyate, ya idam jagat dharyate. That means its entire cosmos is held by that particular root cause only. Now, what is the clarity? Like you take this para prakriti, because it is the subtlemost entity in the cosmos and it doesn't possesses any further constituents in it. One thing one should apply is common sense logic and then understand the one which is formed. For the thing, anything which is formed, it will have its constituents, further causes. So anything which is formed is a effect and it has got its causes, raw material, cause and effect. Whereas that para prakriti is not the effect, it is the root cause of all other causes, all other effects. Because it doesn't possess any further constituents in it, what happens is the simplest understanding is it is not a formed entity, it is not a born entity. Because it is not formed, because there are no further constituents in it, there is no beginning for it. For para prakriti, that subtlemost entity, there is no beginning for it. That means time cannot dictate terms to para prakriti. Time is timeless for para prakriti, because you can never imagine also what is the beginning, because it is existence forever. Because it is not a formed entity, no constituents, there is nothing like it is formed. For a thing which is not formed, there is no beginning. So there is no adi for it, anadi they say. Likewise, because it doesn't constituted by any other further entities, there is no question of lifetime. Lifetime applicable for anything which is born entity having constituents. When it gets dissolved, disrupted, it goes into non-existence. But para prakriti, since it doesn't possess any further constituents in it, it is not subject to disruption. That means there is no end for it, ananta. So anadi, ananta. When for an entity which is anadi and ananta, there is no applicability of life. That is why time is a slave for this para prakriti. Time is not master over it. Likewise, now clarity is worldwide, entire cosmos, if you take in entire cosmos, something is there. People say there are void. Earlier they used to say it is void. That means between nucleus and electron periphery, there is void, empty space. But one should understand there is nothing like empty space in cosmos. There is no empty space in cosmos. Something is there. Whether you appreciate or not, whether you identify or not, something is there. So, for any something, entire cosmos, there is some root cause. For that root cause, again root cause. So, ultimate root cause is there for every existing entity. So that is why entire cosmos filled in by that rootmost cause. That means universal. That para prakriti is universal and eternal. That itself is the God's consciousness. That itself is the God's consciousness. It is no beginning, no end. No place where it is not there. For everything there is a root cause. For that root cause, this is the ultimate root cause. Then if it is there, why we are not able to understand it? This comes the biggest question, is it not? That is
Yes.
the biggest question, that why we are not able to appreciate it. Then there is the answer for it. Say, Mattaf parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. So beyond my prakriti, there is nothing, still subtler entity is there. Mayi sarvamidam protam. In me, all this is embodied, entire cosmos is embodied in me. So that's what he says. Now the question comes, why we are not able to see? Now, the ground realities which we have to understand is the human body, a person, a common man, he gets knowledge, that jnana, the ways and means, how we can get it, only through our five sensory organs. You don't have any other organ to get the knowledge. That is a ground reality. There are pancha jnanendriyas, chakshu, srota, then tvak, grana, smell. These five sensory organs we have, and whatever the inputs they give, that only we are able to understand. Is it not? There is no way. So you have eye, you have nose, you have ear, your skin, you have tongue, taste. So now what exactly are they really giving you the input, the truth? No. I, through I, you visualize something, you see something. All people they together they'll find something, and whatever the thing you see, is it truly real? No. Why? Why it is not real? Whatever the thing we see, they are not that particular thing alone. In reality, when you go, they are made of atoms. Those atoms are again made of something. That again is made up of something. Modern science couldn't go beyond the quarks and leptons. Then, are you able to see those quarks and leptons through your eye? You are not. Anybody is not. Why? Because of natural limitation. So your eye has got limitation to perceive vision only between violet to red, that is 380 nanometers to 750 nanometers wavelength only is visible range. Ultraviolet you cannot see. Infrared you cannot see. Beyond certain minuteness at micro level you cannot see. Beyond certain magnanimous thing at the gross level you cannot see. If any something opaque comes in between, you cannot see beyond that. So if you can't see it, and if you say whatever I don't see, I don't believe in its existence, means who is at fault, whose idiocy it is, whose ignorance it is. The one who believes that which he cannot see is non-existing, if a fellow thinks himself like that, is the biggest fool of the earth in cosmos. So one has to understand that this human body has got limited organs of perception and limited capabilities of these organs also. So eye cannot perceive the sound, ear cannot perceive the vision. Every sensory organ, repeatedly I am telling, we have limited organs of perception, and these limited organs perception can perceive limited objects, and in the limited objects also the range of perception is also limitation. Because of that limitation, our organs, our jnanendriyas are not passing on the truth of cosmic entities. Then the other question is, scientists, they have developed, they worked hard, they developed so many tools, so many instruments they have developed, and through that instruments which our sensory organs cannot perceive, they are perceiving, right? To some more extent they are going through. When you get micro level, when you see microscope, you will see some micron level. When you go to electron microscope, you will go to nano level or pico level or still octo level, zitto level, you will go. But that's not the end point. Beyond certain point, even your instrument also cannot go. Why? The simple fact is all those instruments, they are designed by whom? Designed by the scientists, maybe having little more IQ or more effort than a common man, and they have designed certain tools, and those tools are again designed by a limited capable entity. Because of that division, the formation, the devices formed by a limited capable entities, those instruments also will have a limitation. This is what one has to understand the ground reality. Not only now, at any point of time, there is a limitation for a common man's perception as well as the instruments designed by any person, any scientist. Even down the line, even after 100 crores of years also, these matters, they have the limitation. Because of the limitation, you can never reach the ultimate reality. Now that in Large Hadron Collider, they have designed that, as I told, 10 to the power of 11 gigavoltage energy they have given. At gross level, it is easy to disrupt its constituents. If you take a paper or anything, you can tear it apart. But when you go to subtler level, at atomic level and the nuclear level, it's not that easy to tear apart. You need tremendous energy to tear apart and go to that subtle level. So you cannot go that subtle level that easily. In Large Hadron Collider, when you could develop 10 to the power 11 gigavoltage, now future Hadron Collider they are planning with a diameter, with a circle of 100 kilometers. They are planning, but funds are the crunch. Even in spite of that, also they have drawn a conclusion to go to that subtle level or at the Big Bang level. It requires at least minimum 10 to the power of 19 gigavoltage energy is required, and that to create that energy on that planet, it's not possible. They say it requires at least a planet like Sun. Now, now you draw the conclusion what we can do with this situation. Then why Bhagavad Gita? Why is it? It's always, is it forever confusion, forever not reaching? The more you are inventing more gadgets, the more complicating the issues. Scientists, all they said initially when atoms were found, only proton, neutron, electron, they thought it is endpoint. But the more subatomic entities are finding out, now they are calling it a zoo of particles. Zoo of particles. That means they are getting into more confusion. The more subtle level, the more gross level they are going, the more landing up into confusion. Now, what's the way out? What is the way out? That Bhagavad Gita comes to rescue. Now, the biggest answer that has given is none of this your physical entities, none of your instruments, they can give you the clarity of realizing that particular ultimate truth. Then what's the way out? He says very clearly, it is the only way is refining our thought. Sukhamatyantikam yat tat buddhigrahyam atindriyam Veti yatra nachaivayam stitaschalati tattvataha. So that ultimate reality is not basically object of perception of these indriyas. When it is not an object of perception, through these indriyas, you cannot perceive it. Simple. When you play a very melodious and very pleasuresome music and you ask eye to perceive it, you can never, because it's not tuned to perceive. Likewise, all these indriyas, these five indriyas, including manas, it cannot pursue that subtlemost because it's not the object of perception of these indriyas. Yattat buddhi grahyam, you have to go subtler than akasham, subtler than manas, subtler than buddhi. From that level only you are able to pursue that one. And to get that knowledge, you have to have tremendous, as I told, to go to that plasma level or to go to that original root level, it requires 10 to the power of 19 gigavoltage. It's not possible. Then this thought, capability of thought has got that tremendous potential to generate that energy well beyond that one. How? It is by concentration. It is by focusing. That's what even in Large Hadron Collider they do. Particle accelerators, they do. What happens in the scientific study, a common man's thought per day, he gets around more than 60,000 thoughts, it seems. A common man's thought process is getting diluted into more than 60,000 parts every day. This is what a common study, they say scientifically. That means when you have 60,000 rupees of balance, into 1 rupee it got disbursed again. It is distributed. Suppose if you are able to concentrate for entire one day totally on one object, then your capability as your bank balance has increased up to 60,000. Suppose if you keep on accumulating that one into days, weeks, months, years, eons, millennia, then that's what our rishis and munis have done, and their thought has generated such a tremendous power that it has broken, it has entered, penetrated deep into the ultimate truth, and they became the tattva darshis, drashtas. They have experienced that ultimate reality. And what happens if you get that reality? What happens? यद् ज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहमेवं यास्यसि पांडव येन भूतान्यशेषेण द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यथो मयि. When you get that knowledge, what happens is that the so-called, because of ignorance, the so-called that identifier, that thought process, because of ignorance, it is thinking that it is bound up by this boundary of body. Then when it goes to that subtler level, it realizes that it is one with universal consciousness. Yad jnatva, after knowing which, na punar moham evam yasyasi pandava, yena bhutan yaseshena. Bhava means taking birth. Bhuta means which is taken birth. That means entire creation, entire cosmos. Entire cosmos you can reflect within yourself, and yourself reflecting in entire cosmos, vice versa. Yena bhutanyaseshena drakshasyaatmanyatho mayi. So when get any person's consciousness goes beyond this physical body and then merges into universal consciousness, then it gets that ultimate eternally. It's not just a momentary. Then one will get Sat Jnana. What is Sat Jnana? There is again definition in Bhagavad Gita. Sat Jnana means Sarva Bhuteshu Yena Ekam Bhavam Avyayam Ikshate Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu Tad Jnanam Vidhi Satvikam. Sat Jnana means the true knowledge means Sarva Bhuteshu. Bhava means taking birth, as I told now. Sarva Bhuteshu, in all the creation, entire cosmos, Sarva Bhuteshu, Yena Ekam Bhavam. In entire cosmos, only one Bhava. And that one Bhava is which form? Avyaya. It's not decaying one. It is eternal. It will not last for only a fraction of a second. It is eternal. Yena Satjnana means Sarva Bhuteshu Yena Ekam Bhavam Avyayam Ikshate Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu. Because of limited capability and not truthful perception, we are perceiving every entity as a divided entity. In fact, it is the basic, that rootmost cause for all the existing entities is in continuum. It's not a divided entity. Because of that continuum only, that quantum entanglement is coming, which you cannot imagine through buoyant light speed. Everything is possible. When somebody gets that one, that universal consciousness, that is end point. That becomes the end point. That is why Bhagavad Gita is the end point. When somebody gets that one, universal consciousness eternally, not fractional one. So this very clearly it is explained in so many other verses also. So this is about only 2 or 3 slokas of Jnana Vijnana Yoga. And for every sloka, you have such a deep understanding which modern science is failing to go because of simple fact of limitation. Limitation of a common man's understanding, limited capability of perception, limited capability of the instruments also. And the only instrument which is capable of going through that is the thought process. And why we are not getting common man is because of samskara. The deeds, whatever you do, the deeds, modern science doesn't know. You have more than 100 billion. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So because of that samskara, modern science doesn't know still yet. More than 100 billion neurons are there, but there is no methodology where and how the memory is exactly. Whatever the activity you are doing, dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra namukyate. The identifier is only one. He is undergoing the transformation of physical external covering, but he is not getting transformed. He is remaining same. So that one, that knowledge, this modern science cannot give it. Yeah, tell me, sir.
Sir, we are about a minute and 7 minutes into the talk. Perhaps
Okay.
we can bring this thing to a conclusion. I have a few questions and a few
Yeah.
observations. So I'm sorry to. What we can do is we can have another hangout where we can take
Fine.
up similar topics and get into the
Okay.
same depth. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes. So now the conclusion is that because of that Sukshma Sharira, they say into that all your samskara, all your whatever the activities you do, they are stored in that, and that becomes a biggest thick covering. It will not allow you to open up and then understand the truth reality. That covering, that so-called samskara, it is to be broken up. It is to be cleared off, then only a mirror with a clear image can be identified. That's what in nutshell we say. And that's not a imaginary state. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Raghavendra Swami, Shankaracharya, they have performed Parakaya Pravesha. They have realized, Ramana Maharshi, it is the fortune of India that Bharata Desha is, the literal meaning is, Bha means light and then Rata means enjoying. The personalities here, they will be enjoying the light, that is knowledge. So the series of people, the parampara we have, Sadgurus we have, even till date also we have. I have seen Sadguru who can shower gold just like that. I have seen personally. And I should not discuss openly, but that's the reality. So our Bharat Desha is a Punya Bhumi, Karma Bhumi, and such Sadgurus Parampara we have. And those people, they have shown exactly what modern science cannot do it, that doesn't understand. So many people, they themselves have got lakhs of crores of people, they have their own personal experiences, divine experiences. So they are not myth, they are not simple imagination. The only answer is that you have to clear yourself, you have to purify yourself, you have to keep on your thought process clear cut on the right pathway, righteous pathway, dharma marga, and then clear of your deeds. Everybody has got that potential. It's not for only the Brahmin community or any other community. It is meant for everybody. But they have to undergo transformation. They should, they have the potential. They should work, and then everybody will get it. That's what our Shastras, they say. And the conclusion, I say that at any point of time, we should not I don't or we should not discourage or insult any modern science. It's a tremendous effort of so many lakhs of people. So you enjoy it, doesn't matter. You enjoy it, you keep on doing research it, but you should understand there is a limitation of it. Beyond certain point you cannot go it. You do that, and materialistically, physically, that will be useful, but it's not the tool to go to the ultimate. That can never go to the ultimate. And that ultimate is only by purifying your thought process. You're going by Sanatana Dharma, going by Bhagavad Gita's directions, you'll get the ultimate and end point. So I thank everybody to understand these basic things, and then for every sloka there is a deep meaning. Scientifically we can explain in very perfection all the 18 chapters. So in due course of time, when you are interested, when we get time, we can go on with further detailing, sir.
Sir, I am speechless, and that's the only way I can describe this conversation. Rather, this lecture, I heard you, and a lot of things that went through my mind. I just want to give you what one observer found, because then you'll understand how ignorant the rest of the world is. Because you have given is absolute jnana. Now, things that we understood. One is the power of tapasya. We also understood what the real meaning of Sanatana Dharma is. At least I thought I did. And one other small thing that you mentioned before we started this conversation that I'd like to share with your permission to the viewers. When he was growing up, his father insisted that Sharma Garu understand, read, write, and think in Sanskritam. Because when you do that, what happens is he doesn't have to, reach and then switch into Sanskritam to give us all these different shlokas. And this is something that those of you who are young parents whose children are still growing up, please find a way. There is an abundance of information on Sanskritam. Learn to say it, because it has been proven now that when as a child your tongue starts saying shlokas, it helps in the growth of your brain, and that will give a very evolved future for the children. I hope that those of you who are young parents take this thing to heart. It doesn't matter, it cuts across any it doesn't. This is not one religion, one sect, nothing like that. It's for everybody. This is that is why it's called Sanskritam, Samskriti, refined language. There was a reason why it is refined. So anyway, these are my takeaways, sir. I have a few questions from our viewers. With your permission, I'd like to ask the questions.
The
first question is from Sandhya Vishwanathan. Did Krishna/Rama have a Karana Sharira? If yes, how did his karma get accumulated?
See, he says clearly, Arjuna is very tricky fellow. In Shastaya Yoga, he asked, Krishna says, Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manu Rikshvakave Bravit Evam Parampara Praptam Jnanam Rajarshayo Viduhu Sa Kale Neha Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa Sateva Maya Adya Proktavan Aham Avyayam Ishtosi Sakame Chedi Jnanam Uttamam. So in this, what Krishna says is that earlier I have given this knowledge to Surya. Surya means that is creation. Again, that goes into very deep meanings that later on I can clarify scientifically. That from Surya came to Ikshvaka families. Ikshvakas from to Rajarshayas, and then because in the course of time it is lost. And then because you are my close dearest, I am revealing it again, he says. Then the Arjuna poses a question. What he poses is that aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katham etad vijaniyam tvam adau proktavan iti. What he says is, see, as Lord Krishna, your birth is much, much, much later than Surya. And Surya's is much earlier than you. Then how can I believe that you have told Surya prior to his birth? Then he says, Vedaham samatitani bahuni janmani vyatitani tava maya charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam veta parantapa. See, so many incarnations of yours and mine also have undergone. All those things I know, but you doesn't know. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. See, I know what are all previous things because I myself am those things. And then the present thing and then future also. Every entity, I know everything, but nobody knows me. Then what is this Karana Sharira, this Sharira? See, there are few entities. As a Karma Jivi, the individuals, because of their karma, their accumulated karma, they must undergo the incarnations in various janmas till their that karma palita exhausts. Whereas the God himself, he doesn't have any karma palita. He doesn't have any karma palita. He himself very clearly says um, um, to work without any attachment, to work with any attachment, then the result will not accrue to you. So, Lord Krishna says very clearly, I also discharge duty without attachment to any work. So, when there is no attachment to any deeds, there is no question of any Karana Sharira or those Shariras. That is only divine incarnation. That's the difference between the divine incarnation as well as a common man's incarnation, common man's future births. So for them, there is no karma phalita or something. It is for whenever evil thing upsurges, he takes incarnation. That's what he narrates very clearly in Bhagavad Gita.
The next question is also from the same viewer.
Yeah.
Sandhya Vishwanathan wants to know what is the meaning of Chiranjeevi? Which aspect of their body does not get destroyed?
Yeah. That's what I think in format, this thing only they must have got understood. So the one which is formed entity, it has got a limitation. Time scale may be different. As far as modern science is known, the smallest time they know is a delta plus plus particle. Its lifetime is estimated to be 1 into 10 to the power of minus 23 second. When 1 second is divided into 23 zeros beyond one that small fraction of second only its lifetime. Whereas longest time they know is proton mass, which is about its half life, estimated to be 10 to the power of 32 light years. Okay, so the time span may be different. That is applicable only for formed entities. The longevity, the amaratva is also what our guru says is that it is unlimited lifespan in a limited entity. So 10 to the power of 32 years is not a small this thing you can never imagine also. But that has got a lifespan. So any body, whatever we say Anjaneya, those called Chiranjeevis and other things, with the physical body as far as it is concerned, it is again limited entity. The ultimate reality is only that Atman level. That is subtlemost para prakriti level only is the universal and eternal. So Chiranjiva, these things they are related with incarnations and then yugas and these things. That is again a limited entity only, as far as physical covering is concerned.
Thank you so much, sir. This is the last question. Vishwas Indraganti wants to know what is the significance of Bija mantra of Om? Can we realize the Purush by chanting Om?
Yeah. See, what they say is Om Rucho Akshare Parame Vyoman Yasmin Deva Adhivishve Nisheduhu Yastam Naveda Kim Rucha Karishati. In all Rucha mantras, its residing deity resides into that Bijakshara. In Ksham means it is Narasimha Swami's. Aim is Hayagriva's. So these are all scientifically also proven that in what you call, some scopes were identified, designed, so that when you feed the sound, it gives a graphic representation.
Oh, you're talking
Some
about
scientific, yeah,
tonoscope.
tonus,
Tonoscope.
tonus.
So what you are
Yes,
saying, for my viewers, I've explained this in some other videos. When
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
chant Om properly, if you chant
Yes, yes.
Om properly, when the tonoscope, you will see Sri Chakra Yantra.
Yantra, 100%. How and how this is found out is because of, again, our rishis munis have done tapasya. In that deep meaning, they have found out what are ultimate realities, and that they have because with a mercy, with a pityness on the worldly people, those who are going in ajnana, they, out of mercy, they have given the directions. This is the true pathway. You follow, you also get it. And for that, they have designed the mantras, and then they are truly, practically realities, sir. Because I have seen personally such people reciting mantra giving the effect. As I told, I have seen a guru, when he has recited mantra, right in front of me, gold coins have showered. I myself have counted 478 coins, I have counted on my own. Such people are there even till date, but they don't come openly. Why? Because they don't need anybody's certification. They don't proof by anybody else. All the so-called 800 population on the earth put together also nothing for them. They come, they'll do it only for certain purposes which are designed by themselves. Those whom they fit in, then only they'll do it. Not for everybody's sake. If it is that you show me, means you are not an eligible person to ask him. You are not the certifying authority to him. So they are all realities, sir. And that is the reason why we say you don't deny modern science, but you do it. At the same time, this is also there. This is more reality. You practice it at stipulated conditions. For modern science also, unless there is stipulated conditions, it won't give result. If you want to have water, you should have 2H and then 1O and standard temperature and pressure. Then only it will join together and it will form the water. Without H, without O, you don't get water. So likewise, when you want to get the result of mantras, people are there even till date. That is what the fortune of our India, Bharat Desha is. Sadgurus are there. They one person, one Avaduta, I have seen a person with my own eyes. It's his age is 500 years. 500 years. I have seen personally. So such things, they are not myth. They are not simple fake or any simple superstitious things. Of course, Shankaracharya, long before he said Jetilo Mundi, Lunchita Keshaha, Kashayambara Bahukruta Veshaha, Pashyannapi na Pashyati Mudaha, Udara Krutarte Bahukruta Veshaha, Bhajagovindam Bhajagovindam. Long before only, people were there with Jetilo Mundi having long grown hair and neatly shaven head with the kashaya clothes and all. But what they do is Pashyannapi na Pashyati Mudaha. In spite of seeing, also pretends as if he is not seeing. Why? All these actions for Udara Krutarte Bahukruta Vesha. Lot of 99% people, even beyond that, also maybe for their own selfish purpose and then their own survival. It doesn't mean that true people are not. Always they are there. It is your fortune, your previous Janma incarnation, your Sukruta, you will get a Sadguru. Only when you are able to reach Sadguru, you will get your knowledge. And that knowledge that gives you the clarity. They are not simple trash or something. You get any hundreds of Nobel laureates also. I can sit in front of and then I can explain Bhagavad Gita, let them explain their latest knowledge. And I say even the Stephen Hawking is a stupid fellow. He wrote a book, History of Time. He says, don't think beyond before Big Bang. Who is he to say? When he doesn't know, he doesn't have the clarity. When he asks rest of the people also, don't think. Why? When you are an ignorant, you want everybody also to be ignorant. There are answers. And for your information, there is a book Salil Gewali who wrote, in which Niels Bohr, Einstein, Heisenberg, Max Planck, Oppenheimer, such people, they are great Sanskrit scholars. In fact, Oppenheimer, when atom bomb was blast, he has recited the Bhagavad Gita word shloka, Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yugapatatita Yedibha Sadusri Syad Bhasastasya Mahatmana. When 1,000 suns together at a time, when they blast together, what is the light that comes? It appears like this. Kalosmi loka kshayakrut pravritto lokan samahartumiha pravrittaha. These are all the shlokas he has recited. Oppenheimer. They gave the message. All the Western world people, uh, from the root causes, they have realized the knowledge. They have studied our Bhagavad Gita, or they have studied our Upanishads, or the Shastras they have studied, and they have drawn the basic understanding. Then only they have come out. And what the present day people, particularly the latest ignorant, idiotic people, without going knowledge. See, you delve deep into the subject, you find out. When you say nothing is there, then it's a different issue. We don't touch it at all, and then you say nothing is, means it is your foolishness. When current is flowing, if you want to utilize it, you are the beneficiary. When you get connection from the your street line pole into your house, your fridge will work, your AC will work, your fan will work, your machine will work. When you say I can't see current and that's why I don't get connected, means you are the loser. Nothing happens to the electricity. So that ultimate truth, Bhagavad Gita, those our Vedas, our knowledge, that is for everybody, applicable at any time, any place, irrespective of time and space. If you utilize it, if you delve into that, if you understand it, if you practice it, you get it, you are the beneficiary. If you don't watch it, nothing happens to that knowledge. It is forever. Is it not, sir?
Yes, indeed. And that was a very fascinating discourse that we came to hear from Dr. Sharma Garu. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, sir. This was one of the best 90 minutes of my life. And I hope our viewers, please do comment on this video and tell us, please listen to this thing, because there is a world of wisdom there. And to just add to what you said, sir, Oppenheimer has detailed that it was Bhagavad Gita that he looked for when he was trying to come up with the atom bomb. He has said this thing. He's written about this.
Yeah,
So there is no, there are
so many scientists they have given in the book. Salil Gewali has written, sir, in English also. This is Bharata Desha Unnatyam. This is a translation of Salil Gewali's. One Mr. Ahobila Ujjala, who is a NASA scientist, who has translated one. So many scientists in Western world, they have given messages. When we are in confusion, the direction was given by Upanishads, Vedas, and Bhagavad Gita. And these bloody politicians, that religious propagandists, without knowledge themselves. In fact, I am telling you, all the people, those who crave for conversions, they themselves, they don't know their own God. They don't have understanding of their own God, and they say that their God is superior. And that question also I'll scientifically give a lot of clarity. And out of 25 years of research into Bhagavad Gita, it gave total clarity for me for entire lifetime. And then this is what the knowledge I would like to share with everybody, so that their orientation towards life, their leading of life, everything will transform. And our ancients, they have wished for Sarveva Sukhina Santu, irrespective of any subject, any religion. Sarve Santu Niramaya, nobody should be victim of any sort of ailment. And all these things, humanity, it's a pathetic thing. Maximum share of our income is going only to protect ourselves from our own co-fellows. Is this not reality? So much of in the name of defense, in the name of policing, in the name of legal, in the name of why all this is because of simple reason of distortion of thought. That has to come on to right track. When it comes on to right track, automatically the crime comes down, and lot of funds are there left over. You do research, do so many things. Cosmos is so big. Just now I have shown 92 billion light years span. The known verse itself is there. After all, how many members are there on Earth planet? Hardly 800 members. One person can be given entire galaxy. Take, enjoy. What you do, you'll die off with the aloofness and loneliness. What else you want? What for all this modern science and Western education is imparting? Nothing. They are ignorant idiots, and then they are making all others idiots. Is it not reality?
Sir,
However,
again,
they have
we'll
given clear direction, which is meant for end point, ultimate. So that is in every sloka. This is only whatever the discourse is done, only one or two slokas. And that too, still lot of is left over because of time constraint. We have to conclude here.
yes, indeed, we live in a world of short attention time spans. So
Yeah.
we have to bring this particular discussion to a close now. But we'll be back with Dr. Sharma and have more such enlightening conversations. Enlightening is the only way I can put it, because it actually opens your mind to things that you probably never knew existed. And the
Yes.
greatness of Sanatana Dharma. Thank you once again, sir. Namaskaram.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar. Namaskar to everybody.